Hey guys, welcome back as always. My name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be doing yet another chair review, a gaming chair review. This time on the block we got the Quersus Icos 1.2, the chair which is right behind me. So let's do some full disclosure before we get into it. This was sent by Quersus after they saw one of my chair reviews and said, hey, we got a product, we think you will like it. And in the interest of full disclosure, I'm gonna put up a email reply between me and them so you can see exactly how I deal with these review requests. Essentially, I say, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Are you cool with that or not? So there's no script, no money is exchanging hands. All of my opinions are 100% my own, no bullet points, nothing of the sort. Getting into it a bit, this will get the recommendation. This is the first actual gaming chair that does get my recommendation. However, there are still some issues and some quirks and qualms that you need to be aware of, so I would stick around until the end of the review. Now, if you're anything like me, you might have never heard of the Quersus brand before, because if I'm being totally honest, before they reached out, I never heard of Quersus gaming chairs. I heard of the X-Racer, Noble chairs, had a couple of chairs, Secret Labs, Razer, etc. Never heard of Quersus. Apparently they do office chairs and gaming chairs as well, and you will see later down the line this is actually a big benefit for their gaming chair line. So I did what the next guy does, right? I went online, I looked for a decent comprehensive review on the product to shed some light on it. Get it? Anyway, and I didn't manage to find any comprehensive review up until this point, but we're gonna be fixing that today, starting with the unboxing experience, which was pretty good and straightforward. Now, unfortunately, the packaging materials are not premium, they're not using closed-cell foam, and I would love to see that because it protects your components better, but I do know that closed-cell foam is significantly more expensive than the standard stuff, and at the end of the day, the chair was delivered by DHL unharmed. Was it DHL or UPS? I can't remember. Either way, both of those couriers are known to smack things about, and the box wasn't damaged, none of the components had any issues whatsoever, outside of some quality control issues, which we will be getting into later. Regarding the unboxing experience, there was one weird aspect. They're using the armrests to sandwich the layers of foam together, kind of like a night-tight sandwich, which is fantastic for shipping, but when it comes to unboxing, it can be a little bit awkward to get everything opened up without breaking any of the foam pieces. And I know that a lot of you guys like to keep everything nice and tidy like I do. This is a very, very small quirk with the unboxing experience. Outside of that, everything fantastic. They're even using soft foam for the more important bits. I'm talking about the upholster bits to make sure they get to you undamaged. So thumbs up for that one. As for the assembly process, this was pretty simple, as the instructions are pretty big and pretty clear. So most of the experience was painless, and you can always tell a quality product by the way the holes actually align. What are the tolerances used when manufacturing? And everything aligned perfectly. I do have two small complaints, however. One would be the screws used to affix the black plastic cover on the backrest. Essentially, after you mount your backrest on your seat through that thick metal L bracket, you gotta mount the cap, so it gives it that clean aesthetic, which is fantastic. But unfortunately, they give you two bore screws. Now, bore screws is something that you see in woodwork, for example, because they're meant to, well, bore through the wood. Here, unfortunately, using the included tool, which gives you a lot of torque, you can very easily cross-thread that thread, because it's basically plastic on plastic. So when you have a plastic thread and a metal bore screw, that spells doom and destruction. In all honesty, it's a very, very small issue. The back plastic cover is firmly affixed, it's not going anywhere. I would just like to see different screws for that specific job. And the second thing would be the fact that the instructions never tell you to remove the two rubber grommets which are protecting the backrest before you try to affix the headrest to it. It wasn't going in, and I thought, hey, look, this doesn't fit. It does fit after you remove the rubber grommets. Now, let's have a look around the chair. From the get-go, you're gonna be seeing my logo right underneath the Quersus logo, and I know what you're gonna say, dude, they probably just do this for streamers or YouTubers or whatever else. Not true. You can actually pay about 30 bucks to get your own logo embroidered, which to me is a pretty good deal. And if you don't have a logo, you can do something like your name, like Johnny 2x4 or 4x6 or whatever else you want. For 30 bucks, this kind of personalization to me is pretty damn good. But what about the quality, huh? Well, take a look for it yourself. Is it perfect? Nope, it's not perfect. You do have some loose strands, at least one over here, but nothing too terrible or anything of the sort. From my point of view, the embroidery is done good, but it could be slightly better. As you can see, because of the material used underneath, it's kind of coming out from some of the embroidery. Overall, I would rate this about a 8 towards 9 out of 10. As for the actual material used, well, obviously it's configurable. You can choose different materials for your chairs, and we're going to be getting into that just a bit later. As for this specific material, I'm not sure how well this is coming out on camera, but this is their Silver Cat, the Quersus 1.2. And if I am to zoom in a lot, take a look at this. You see that? Essentially, this is why you see these waves forming. Basically, this is an Alcantara-like fabric, animal friendly and water repellent. Again, Icos 1.2 2023 ed. From my experience, which is 3 weeks with the chair, this is a fantastic fabric. It feels very plush. My daughter loves it, which is a huge plus. And I did try spilling water on it. It just completely wiped away. So that's a plus. Now, normally for me, I go for pleather or leather chairs simply because I have a small baby and there's jam and there's milk and there's a lot of things that can stain stuff. Now, they do have some pleather options, but unfortunately only 2 in the Icos Edition 1. I would love to see more pleather options from Quersus, because right now they basically just got 2 dark ones. I would love to see one in white, gray, reds, etc. When it comes to pleather, you are kind of sacrificing breathability, and that may be an issue for some, but on the upside, at least for me, they are very easy to clean. So far with the Silver Cat, as in this one, I had no issues whatsoever, but it's only been a couple of weeks. Let's talk about the headrest, because this is not overly fantastic. This is one of my issues with the chair. Now, this one is mounted by these 2 metal struts, and you can control the actual height, and that is pretty damn good, and you can get it really tall. If you have a look at the metal struts, they are grooved, so essentially they just simply slot in and you will hear a click, and boom, it is theoretically slotted into position. The problem with this one is twofold. Essentially, the more higher up it is, the more rickety it gets. It's the only part of the chair that makes unwanted noise, this rickety rackety. And of course, if you go all the way down, no problem whatsoever. When it comes to the foam used, this is a hard foam on the head cushion. To be honest, something like memory foam would have been a whole lot better, but it's not uncomfortable. Comfort, of course, being subjective. On the back, we got a small Quersus logo, well, small compared to other brands, and this one is with metal lettering, which is fantastic. Of course, they are sticky and they slot into position. This was one of the quality control issues. Unfortunately, one of the letters was out of place. It was a simple fix for me. I simply grabbed a hairdryer, warmed it up, removed it, and put it back in. You gotta be extremely careful when it comes to such operations, because you can easily bend these metal letters. There's one more Quersus logo which is hidden, believe it or not, behind the headrest. Take a look. You got Quersus right here, and sometimes it kind of stems into the chair. Now, my main issue with the headrest is the fact that I normally use it in this position, and sometimes I keep my chair next to my desk while I watch TV or something of the sort. I come around to use my mouse and I rest my hand on the headrest, and ever so slightly, boom, it goes down. Essentially, these are not strong enough to keep the headrest in the correct position if you're going to be touching it from the top down. Obviously, this is not going to be an issue for most of you. It's just a small complaint I have. Let's go down to the seat pan, because this one is absolutely fantastic. My friends, we have an adjustable seat pan. Finally, that is very easily controlled using this lever right here. Essentially, if I pull it up now, it's gonna go back, and you can simply sit on the chair and adjust it to your liking. It's got a pretty long range of adjustment. Now, that is pretty significant. Only small gripe is the fact that now you're going to be seeing this metal bit exposed. And since we're here, let's talk quickly about the tilt mechanism. This is significantly better than what you're going to be seeing in the very large majority of gaming chairs, because this doesn't follow the design of the standard bucket seat gaming chair. This follows the design of a mid-range office chair. So in essence, your backrest and your seat pan move individually when you recline in the chair, and that is significantly better and more comfortable than what you get in your standard gaming chair. Thumbs up for this one. Keep it up, Quersus. Keep this system. As for adjustments, you get the same adjustments that you see in most of these chairs. Guess what happens if I push on this one? It goes up. If you sit on it and press it, it goes down. This lever that goes in and out controls the tension of the reclining mechanism, and this is where we have a problem. Even at the minimum setting, you still need a whole lot of force to actually recline back into the chair. chair, and my wife felt the same way. I'm 174 with 88 kilos and she's 162, 63 with 58 kilos. Basically, I would love for Quersus to actually reduce the tension, the minimum tension that you have for reclining back into this one, because it is a bit much. On the other side, this is the lock and unlock for the recline feature, and you can pull it out or leave it in for a more clean aesthetic. And of course, this controls the seat band, and that's pretty much it. Again, this is significantly better than what I have used so far in gaming chairs. Thumbs up again for the recline and the tilt mechanism. If we go a bit down, what do we got here? Well, what do you know? It's a gas lift. It's the same gas lift that you see in most gaming chairs, but this one doesn't have a sleeve. And without a sleeve, you know what? Has a cleaner aesthetic. I love it. One problem though, Quersus without a sleeve. You see this? I don't need to touch it. Yes, you see what this is. Essentially, there's a little bit of grease, and you know, small babies or pets, I'm not entirely sure how well that will work out, because you see most gaming chairs, like this one, come with this sleeve. This is a cheapo sleeve. It's not fantastic. Look at this. Cracked and nasty and gooey, but you know what? It does protect from anybody touching that grease. Now we're going to be having a chat about casters. As you can see, the Icos uses a very different style of caster. It looks cool, it's definitely different. It has a bit more drag than the standard casters that you find in a gaming chair, but much to my surprise, I found out that this one has less issues with hair being tangled up. By comparison, this is what you find in normal quote-unquote standard premium gaming chairs. I think these came out off of my Hero or my Secret Lab Titan, I don't remember which, because in essence I never really use the standard casters. I prefer this style of caster. When it comes to hardwood floors, these rollerblade style of casters are significantly better and offer the littlest amount of drag if that's what you're after. The problem with these? Hair tangles. I know it's a bit gross, but basically you need to be aware of that. However, I would still recommend this over any style of caster. So it kind of goes like this. In my opinion, for hardwood floors, this style is the best, followed by the Quersus style, and finally the standard ones. Next, we're going to be touching on the armrest, and for me this has been kind of a love-hate relationship. On the one hand, I love them because, listen, not rattly. Most gaming chairs, if not all gaming chairs, especially the quote-unquote premium gaming chairs, have these rattly, bloody armrests. Not so in the case of these. Unfortunately, these can't lock into position, so it's a bit of a trade-off in the sense that they are adjustable as you would expect of a gaming chair of this price. Up, down, left, right, forward and back. But unfortunately, you can't lock them into position, and sometimes when you lay on them a little bit more, they might get out of position, which can be a little bit annoying. But the upside, no rattling, no noise, so that is fan-freaking-tastic. Dear Quersus, if I could have them not be noisy and lock into position, that would be perfect. As for the softness, well, these are in between my Noble Chairs Hero and my Secret Labs Titan. In a sense, it's not overly soft, but not super firm either. As you can see, it does have a bit of give to it, and I didn't have any issue whatsoever resting my elbows on it, no chafing or anything of the sort. Now there's something that I want you to take a look at. Take a look at the alignment on this one. Borderline perfect, and this has been an issue for me when it comes to other so-called premium gaming chairs. And since I'm here, take a look at this. What is that? Is that dirt? Nope, that's actually lint from your clothing, because when it comes to actually maintaining the chair, this was my only small issue, in the sense that once a week I simply need to remove the lint. And you're gonna say, hold on dude, if that's lint from a shirt, then isn't that stuck on there? It's a very simple fix. All you gotta do is move the seat pan as forward as you can, then simply use a lint roller to get them out. The smaller the better, but as you can see, the lint is basically gone now, and it took what, 15 seconds. Outside of that, if you have a gaming chair, you know that here is where the dust settles. So for that, I would recommend one of these here, puppies. It's a duster, my friends. Yeah, put your hand on that duster. 15 seconds, that's all it takes to keep your chair nice and premium. And of course, downstairs as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and essentially you're done. And if it's, let's say, tight enough, what you can do is get the dust out of this here part as well by doing essentially this. And you're all done. That's it. That's all the cleaning I had to do on the Quersus. I don't know if you saw this, but you got a logo here as well, again with metal lettering. Now, of course, you want to hear about comfort. Is it comfortable? But I'm not really all that comfortable talking about comfort because that one is 100% subjective. For example, I may be entirely comfortable and feel fantastic in this chair, but my friend R2D2 over here might say, hey, this is not ideal for me. I don't really like it. But what I can tell you is that so far, out of all the gaming chairs I've used, this is by far the most comfortable. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, when it comes to the foam they used on this one, it's across the entire seat pan and it is a firm sitting position. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of give, there's just a little bit of give. In the sense that you're not going to be sinking into this one like you do in a Lazy Boy, for example. Something like this. This is something you can expect on a Lazy Boy. This is a firm seating position. It's much more ergonomically correct, but there is a little bit of give, more than I had on the Secret Labs Titan and on the Noble Chairs Hero, so there is that to bear in mind. Now the back support is absolutely bloody genius, at least for me. There is no lumbar support, nothing to adjust here, but take a look at the shape. I'm gonna give you a top down, take a look at that. You see, my friends, it does cradle your back nicely, but it's not one of those gaming chairs that has those super aggressive arches that kind of pinch you in like that. And if you're a bit more on the chubby side like I am, you're gonna be loving yourself, or I think you're gonna be loving a form like this one. I absolutely love it, but there is one issue. The guys over at Quersus told me that the Quersus Icos 2.0, which is coming in 2024 if I remember correctly, will have a lumbar support. Dear Quersus, please don't sacrifice this shape for the sake of a lumbar support. At least for me and my wife, this is an absolutely fantastic shape. So if you can add a lumbar support without compromising the shape and the overall feel and I want to say ergonomics of the chair, then fantastic. If not, this chair does not need a lumbar support. One more time, I'm going to give you the top down and I'm going to show you an example on a traditional style bucket seat gaming chair. You see that shape? That is a whole lot more aggressive. Not only that, this chair has a lumbar support that kind of like bulges out like that. It's the trend, it's the norm nowadays. And this one kind of like pushes your back out like that. I found this one to be significantly more comfortable. But again, comfort is subjective and down to the individual. Now, when I watch reviews such as this one, in the back of my head, there's always the question, did they cherry pick it and send it to the reviewer or not? At the end of the day, it is a possibility, and the way I safeguard myself against that is by checking return policies and warranty information on the website. So let's do just that. Now the first thing that jumps at you, of course, is going to be the product and all the color options. From edition 1 to 1.1 to 1.2, from what I can tell, only the fabric changes. Edition 1 is basically from pleather. 1.1, you got this fire-resistant fabric that apparently excels in breathability. And finally the 1.2, the one I'm using right now, in the Silver Cat, this Alcantara-like hydrophobic, animal-friendly fabric. PVF in silver, as in the Silver Cat. Now the next thing, which I find a little bit aggressive, 5-year unconditional warranty. 5-year warranty? Fantastic. Unconditional warranty, you say? Honestly, that's a bit of marketing mumbo jumbo. There's no such thing as unconditional warranty. The warranty is conditioned on proper use, assembly, exploitation, etc. You can't really go on and say something like unconditional warranty, Quersus. It doesn't feel all that genuine to me. Now you got an option here for €29 or $32 or something of the sort. You get to personalize your chair if you want to. Again, you can have yourself a cool logo or your name or something of the sort. Now my problem is the fact that when I click here, it doesn't take me to the warranty page. It doesn't take me to the terms and conditions. If I want to do that, I gotta scroll all the way down to the bottom, click the terms, and then try to find warranty information. I also access the sitemap, and to no avail. This is more of an issue on the Europe site. It's a bit better on the US site, and I'll show you that just a bit later. I'm gonna make this very simple and very short. In Europe, you got 14 days to return the product. In the United States, you got 50 days, which is fantastic, and you're gonna be liable and responsible for the shipping cost if you're returning the product. Now I hopped on over to the United States and you can see the prices. Basically, it's the same amount but only in dollars, which isn't exactly all that fair because a euro is more valuable for a dollar. So if you want it from the Europe website, you're gonna have to pay a bit more. Furthermore, this website is a bit more optimized and you can find your information a whole lot easier. Like for example, support warranty, fan-freaking-tastic. Look at that! Standard warranty 5 years, whoop whoop. Hold on a second, extended warranty up to 7 years? How do I get that? Our extended warranty is a free extension of the standard warranty that any customer can apply to. It covers every part of your chair, including the metal components, cushions, armrests, casters, against any defects in material or workmanship. Basically, it doesn't really cover wear and tear. Apply! Apply? No, it no work. Unfortunately, it no work. And this was one of the questions that I addressed Quersus support, but more on that later. And finally, up to 10-year extra limited warranty. Our limited warranty specifically applies to non-moving metal components, primarily the frame of the chair. Every customer is eligible. I'm a customer, right? So basically you're getting yourself 10-year warranty on the frame of the chair. Every customer is eligible. Fantastic. You are covered from the date of your purchase to the end of your warranty term. Absolutely bloody amazing. But still, there are a couple of questions. Let's take a look at the warranty policies, because this, on the US website, you get this nice diagram that makes everything a whole lot more easier, and unfortunately you don't get this over on the Europe site, which I can't seem to understand why. Standard warranty 5 years, all parts damaged due to the defect of material or workmanship, cushions, casters, armrests, etc. Keep in mind that the way that they worded this, essentially it doesn't really cover any damage over wear and tear. So it's kind of left up to them, and if in 2 years this fabric wears down, they might choose to replace it or they might not. Extended warranty 7 years, and essentially the exact same text as before. All parts damaged due to the defect in material or workmanship, cushion, casters, armrests, etc. Eligibility: any customer who filed and got approved for the extended warranty program. And this again was one of my questions. How do I apply for the extended warranty program? Because I want 7 years for everything, and of course you still get that 10-year for the frame of the chair. Every customer is eligible. Make sure not to confuse the Icos with the VAOS. Different terms apply to those. And down here, very important, I want you to read the case of exclusion. The warranty programs do not cover damages from evident misuse, abuse, improper assembly, normal wear and tear, natural disasters, unauthorized modifications, improper storage, and natural aging of material. So basically the whole wear and tear of the chair is down to Quersus to judge. Hey, this constitutes warranty or does not constitute warranty. For claiming the warranty, customers needs to complete a warranty claim form and provide pictures, videos of the damages. Now we're going to be taking a look at the warranty statement, and I'm going to spare you guys a bit of trouble after going through everything, all the information on the Quersus website. There were 3 questions which I had and I forgot, which is why I'm checking my mail. Oh yes, how does one apply for the limited warranty, aka the 7 years one? To which they replied, the limited warranty is reachable for US customers by sending a review with a photo of the product after receiving it. Sounds awfully familiar to another brand, I know, and I'm not a fan of. Any customer who did this can then apply to get approved to the extended warranty program for a 7-year warranty. Why just the guys in the US? Now I feel terrible. Why just the guys in the US? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So that's one thing you gotta know. Next question was who pays the shipping fees in the case of a return, to which the replies, return shipping fees are to be handled by the customer. Keep in mind that this is not just a Quersus thing. Basically all gaming chairs brands that I came across have kind of the same policies. And the final question was... yes. What is the return window for AU customers? Is it 50 days or 14 days? Because from the information on their AU website, it wasn't 100% clear. And the reply to that, 14 days for the guys in AU, 50 days for the guys in the US. Now, if you live in the United States, absolutely fantastic. 50 days should be more than plenty to see if you actually want to keep the chair or not. But 14 days to get a grips with a brand new chair in Europe? I don't know about that. It's in line with European law, but it's the bare minimum. Hey Quersus, how's about at least 30 days, huh? For us to get the grips with a chair and all whatnot. That would be fantastic. Now the one problem I see, the one real problem here is the fact that you are liable and you need to pay the shipping fees on a return trip. So if you decide, hey, I don't want to keep it for whatever reason, you're gonna have to pay those shipping fees. And when it comes to a product that is this heavy, that can be a pretty penny. For example, if I want to ship this one back, considering it's like 30 something kilos or something of the sort, I'm looking at least 100 euros. So bear that one in mind. Now, of course, you might say, dude, these are terrible terms and conditions, especially for us in Europe. And you know what? I have to agree with you. Here's the thing though. This is the norm when it comes to these gaming chairs. For example, Secret Labs has basically almost the exact same terms and conditions. 14 days for Europe, 49 days for the guys in US. And again, you are responsible for the shipping fees on a return trip. So it is what it is. However, when I'm paying 700 euro for a product, because that's the price we need to pay in Europe, I expect a certain level of customer service. And not picking up the bill on a return trip for a premium product such as this one is definitely not ideal. Here's the thing. At 700 euro, this one gets close to Herman Miller territory. And if there's a king to warranty and fantastic consumer-oriented policies, it's definitely Herman Miller. Now granted, for those chairs you need to pay about 30 to 40% more, which is definitely quite the pretty penny, but still. Quersus, perhaps we can work a bit more on those terms and conditions, perhaps a bit more leeway on the return policy, and please get your European website a bit more up to snuff. That would be absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't know if you noticed or if I mentioned this up until this point, but this chair comes with TUV certification, and the German TUV is no joke. Directly from the website you can download this here report, and you can see all the tests they did on all the results, and that's definitely a thumbs up for the chair. Good job, Quersus. And that's pretty much gonna do it. It's time to draw some conclusions on the Quersus Icos 1.2. It's difficult to make a proper assessment of these subjective things, such as comfort. On a personal level, this is the best and most comfortable gaming chair I have ever used. Now, I'm gonna be saying gaming chair because you see, the secret of the Icos is the fact that it's not really a gaming chair. This is a mid towards higher end-ish office chair disguised or masquerading as a gaming chair. This is a chair that was meant for you to sit at your desk. It thinks about your comfort first and then aesthetics later. Absolutely freaking fantastic. From this point of view, it definitely gets a thumb up. What's more impressive to me is the fact that my wife likes this chair, and she's a bit more picky because of her back problems. The reclining mechanism is significantly better, and when I say significantly better, I mean it's another level of comfort, especially if you're going to be comparing to your standard bucket style gaming chairs that simply have a lever and the backrest goes down. In the case of the Maxima Synchro, essentially what happens is your backrest and your seat pan move semi-individual to one another, creating that optimal angle. This is so much better to recline in. Now, the disadvantage would be the fact that the backrest doesn't go like completely flat. If you like to sleep in your chair, like lay flat, you can't do that with the Quersus. Personally, I never really used that kind of feature in regular gaming chair. So again, for the Maxima Synchro tilt mechanism, huge thumbs up. Don't change it, Quersus. This is definitely the way. What I don't like is the fact that you need a pretty good amount of force to actually recline back into the chair, even at the lowest setting. I want it to be a bit more softer, especially if I would buy my wife one because she loves this one. So again, less tension in the minimal position. There's one more small gripe. It takes a lot of turning to actually get from minimum tension to maximum tension and back again. It's not something that should bother you because this is the kind of set it and forget it affair. One more thing that I would like to see in the chair, when I block the recline mechanism, like so, I would like to be able to block it at a certain angle, but for me still to be able to recline back. If I unblock it, like so, then it comes all the way back. You see what I'm saying? So if I want to recline, when I sit up straight, it wants me to have that super correct ergonomic posture. And I'll be honest with you, I sometimes try to have the correct ergonomic posture, but normally I kind of like do this. So that is that, to bear in mind. I would love for me to be able to block it, and then so I could recline back from the already reclined position, something of the sort. But again, it's a small gripe to have with it. The armrests are a bit of a love and hate approach. I love the fact that they don't rattle, so I can comfortably do my videos without thinking about the noise gate on the mic, because these things create sound. On the bad side, there's no way to lock them in place, so sometimes if I lean over like that, you saw that? It kind of moves to the side, so it's not ideal. Basically what I would want is for them to remain the same, but add the lock-in feature. But if that means they're gonna be rattly, then just forget about it and keep them as they are. Finally, the headrest. The headrest. Well, it's beautiful, it's fantastic, I love it, but can we have memory foam? That would make it a whole lot more comfortable, and you need to come up with something that holds them into position a bit better than this. Because you see, it's the only rattly part on the chair, and it's not terrible, you can barely hear it. Can you hear that? You might not be able to hear that because I have a noise gate on the mic. Now, this is not something that is overly bothersome or anything of the sort, but it's the only part of the chair that makes a little bit of a clacking sound. It's a crying shame because outside of that, the chair is pretty much silent. And also, if you put it in the most upward position, it becomes a little bit too rattly. So while the system itself is good, I need it to be a bit more stronger, a bit more robust, so it holds its position a bit better. That would be fantastic. When it comes to the cosmetics, these are subjective and entirely down to the user. However, if I am to have my say, I love how the chair looks from the front, but not so much from the back, because you see that array of black plastic, while it's simple, quaint, and it can fit easily into an office environment, a giant slab of black plastic doesn't exactly scream €700 war for chair. Tell you what, why can't we color match it to the actual chair? I think that would be a bit cooler, or perhaps even give us the option to dress it up in the same material. Obviously, that would be a whole lot more expensive though. I love the fact that you guys didn't embroider it with like a ton of logos or anything of the sort. It's nice, it's simple, it's quaint, and again, it can fit in an office environment. Thumbs up for that one. Overall, the Quersus Icos 1.2 is the first gaming chair that I feel comfortable recommending, because you see, it's not really a gaming chair. This is a good office chair, stylized to look a bit more gamery. It focuses on the important bits. That's ergonomics, comfort, the actual seating position at your computer, and less on showy looks. Now granted, a couple of things could have been a bit better, small quality control issues, nothing that should put you off, but I would definitely love to see a better return policy from Quersus. You're going to be able to find affiliate links in the comment section and in the description down below. As always, my name has been Leyzar, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!